In line 515, Creon again emphasizes to us the role of public identity, reputation, and life. In this Greek mindset, or in the mindset of the individuals who are viewing this play or conceptualizing it, the public reputation of an individual was the identity that that person had. So there's almost a direct correlation to it. You enter into the public realm in order to declare your identity, in order to demonstrate your capabilities, your unique talents, to be recognized as a fully human being as a result of your execution of human capabilities and talents. So if you have more reason than another person, if you're more reasonable, more intelligent, more cunning, have better rhetorical skills, in a sense, you're recognized and validated as being more human than that other person. And you're given the opportunity to demonstrate that more and more, progressively more, because of your skill. Here, Creon picks up on this idea and affirms it when he says that amid all this trouble, if he, Oedipus, now thinks I have done him any harm in word or deed, any harm whatsoever, I'd rather die and not prolong my life than carry such a reputation. The damages are enormous from a charge like that. I'd be called a traitor to my city, a traitor to you, and even to my family. So he would lose everything that he possesses in both the public realm of reputation and politics, and also in his family, so in his animal-based subsistence existence, along with the members of his own biological family. Reputation, thus, is everything for this culture, because it gives you your position within both the public and private spheres. However, even though an individual demonstrates his, let's say, his quality, his talent, and positions himself in the social hierarchy based on those abilities, Creon also recognizes that no man is an island sufficient unto himself, as it were. So in line 355, clearly he meant to steal my power, says Oedipus. Gods, what was it that you saw in me? Weakness? Stupidity? Did you really think that I'd never see through your schemes and take steps against your creeping conspiracy? And here in line 540 comes Oedipus's great revelation that seems to run counter to what we've seen from him in this play. Up until this point, he's saved the city. He has been their bastion, their defender, their savior. But he says, what a fool to think you could even try to pursue power with no allies, no following. Without men and means, there can be no conquest. Contrast this assertion with what Oedipus has to say against Tiresias in line 395. You saw no omens, made no revelations, there was no divine inspiration, you knew nothing. Then I came, ignorant Oedipus. I silenced her, the Sphinx, by using my mind, not signs from the sky. So Oedipus seems to be speaking out of both sides of his mouth. There's this irreconcilable contradiction in his perspective of the capacities of the individual man to shape his own destiny. At this point, speaking to Creon, he says, Creon, you never could have succeeded in this revolt that Oedipus believes he is fostering, because you're just one man alone. Earlier on in the play, however, Oedipus asserted his ability, because of his talents as an individual, to take control of the city. And he earned that command because of his ability to defeat the Sphinx. So Oedipus seems confused in his own mind about the necessary qualities of the leader. And that is, in fact, the open question of the play. Can an individual, if he is talented enough and wise enough, forge his own destiny? Or are we all just pawns of fate? Or, in line 540, are we all just the sum of the people behind us? Is a ruler only powerful because he has the support of the people? Because a man alone is powerless. Now, Oedipus rashly tries to forestall discourse. This is the man who wanted free and open speech from the people to be called upon, but when he hears it, he doesn't wish to countenance it. We have another instance of irony in 551. And you're out of your mind. Do you really think, Oedipus says, you can harm your own family with impunity? That invective, that critique, could easily be leveled against Oedipus himself, even though he doesn't know it. Oedipus continues to assert his morally upstanding nature, the fact, in his mind, that he hasn't done anything wrong. Creon says in line 574, is that what Tiresias said, that you were the killer of Laius, Oedipus? Then you're the one who knows, and I have just as much right to question you. Oedipus, so secure in his standing and his position and his reputation and in his innocence, says, ask your questions, I'll never be found a murderer. Creon then goes on to say that there is a kind of invective or argument against the fundamental irrationality of a tyrant's attempts to rule a nation. In line 543, he enters into an extensive speech that I will read through and break down, parse out as we go along. No, he says to Oedipus. Look at yourself from my point of view and ask this question. Do you think anyone would choose to rule in constant fear when he could sleep without trembling and have exactly the same power? Remember, hold on, think logically, stop acting so rashly and trying to press forward in your mad quest for the truth so that you're concocting truths for yourself. Oedipus again demonstrates that propensity towards rashness as he races towards what he believes to be the truth because he says, I have to act quickly. I have to save my people. He's caught up in that desperate desire we noted earlier on in the play. Creon's logic here is a kind of stock philosophical argument advanced by the Greeks against tyranny as an attempt to illustrate its irrationality. Remember that Creon, that is Oedipus's uncle and his brother-in-law, Jocasta, Oedipus's mother and wife, and Oedipus himself all have 1/3 of the rule of the kingdom. They divide power equally amongst themselves, yet Oedipus is king by title, by name. Thus, Creon says, think about our positions logically. Why should I want to be tyrannous? Who would choose to rule in constant fear when he can sleep without trembling and have exactly the same power? Not me. I'd be insane. I already do as I please, and I have everything from you and nothing to fear. As ruler, I'd have to do things against my will. But the power I have now is exactly to my taste. Why would I find tyranny more attractive? So the Grecian conception of rulership here, of absolute tyranny, is an intensely negative one. You have all this power, but you also have all this maddening responsibility that drives Oedipus to irrationality to care for your people and treat them as your children. And you also have the danger, the threat of all the people who seek to take you down. In that public realm of human existence, as you're asserting your value, as you're trying to prove it to the people, at every moment, you're beset by the threats of those around you. They could easily destroy you or seek to destroy you because they are sort of struggling in this hierarchy. They want to assert themselves and to climb one step higher on that ladder or that hierarchical ladder that we discussed in our interactive class. And continue on in line 595. I do not hunger for more than what is fair and profitable. As it is, I'm friends with everyone. People fawn on me whenever they want anything from you because I am their best hope of success. And how could I give that up and be a traitor? Look, I hate the very idea of such a plot. I'd never dare join people actually doing it. Test me. Go to the Oracle at Delphi and ask if my report was accurate, and then, if you prove I conspired with the seer, take my life. So, if the just judgment falls upon me, take my life. If there is actually evidence to substantiate these claims, I bow to it, even though I know I'm innocent, and it's in fact because I know I'm innocent that I can do so. Here, in Creon's next statement, we have a principle of justice and execution. Don't you presume me guilty without proof. It is not right to think good men are bad or bad men good if your reasons are worthless. When you reject a noble friend, you cast your very life away, and all you hold so dear. In time, you will be certain of my innocence. It takes time to prove the goodness of a man, but you'll see evil come to light in one bad day. And here we see that subject that we've explored, the difficulty of actually determining human beings' motivations. All of us seem to wear masks. We conceal our true identities, our true selves, our true intentions, even from ourselves, because the heart is desperately wicked. Who can ever know it? Certainly not us. As a result, it's difficult to actually articulate wisdom. Now, Creon here preaches patience. Please take your time, consider these things carefully as Oedipus rushes on ahead. Oedipus balances this political observation with the reality that, as he says in line 618, when a conspirator moves quickly against me, then must I be quick to conspire back at him. If I hesitate, I'll lose the initiative, and he will seize the moment and strike. So, the tyrant is put into an untenable position. He has a responsibility to save his people and to safeguard himself because he knows that he can care for them best, or at least Oedipus does. At the same time, though, he has responsibilities to justice that transcend himself, and that Creon tries to remind him of. And a specific kind of justice that we see reflected in his speech. And the truth that it is incredibly difficult to ever learn a man's true motives. As the chorus observed earlier on in the play, and we've discussed in previous video lectures and in our interactive class, none of us can truly know. Who's to say whether Tiresias is telling the truth or Oedipus? The chorus can't make that determination. They're simply not wise enough, not intelligent enough. They don't have the evidence. And that is a reflection of the status of human beings according to this play. We're all eternally mired in ignorance and uncertainty, and it's all but impossible to ever judge other people fairly, or to know what their true motivations are, or to understand anything in the world. That is part of the tragic nature of this work. In the next video lecture, we'll continue on with our analysis of lines 500 to 1000.